What's going on, friends, noobs, eager trainers? I'm Solo, and we're back again with another episode of Beginner to Masters. Today, we're going to be discussing the roles and sub-roles inside of Pokemon Unite and their usefulness and function inside of a match. As you probably already know, there are 5 main roles inside of Pokemon Unite. The first one is our attackers. They are usually the highest damage dealers across the board. They have a low HP pool and attack from range. Next, we have defenders. And as the name suggests, they are made to defend the rest of your allies. They normally have a very large HP pool, they can soak up a whole ton of damage, and they usually have some form of crowd control to disrupt the enemy. After that, we have the all-arounders. These are your fighters, your brawlers, the people that can really get into the middle of a fight and make a difference. And as their name suggests, their stats are usually pretty balanced across the board. Then we have the supporters. Their main objective is to either heal your allies or hinder your opponents. They usually offer a variety of buffs and debuffs for their allies and enemies respectively, and usually have varying forms of crowd control. And last but not least, we have our speedsters. These are commonly referred to as your assassins. They're the ones that use hit and run techniques to get in, do high bursts of damage, usually take out about 1 or 2 enemies, and leave to set up another ambush and do it all over again. Now, while having a basic understanding of the roles is okay, I believe it's also important to understand sub-roles inside of Pokemon Unite. This is something that the game never really goes into, but I believe that it's important to understand that while Cinderace and Pikachu are both attackers, they do not fulfill the same needs for your team inside of a match. And it's also important to know that certain Pokemon, when they pick certain movesets, fulfill different needs for your team. So the first sub-role that we're going to cover are called Attack Damage Carries, or ADCs for short. These are your Pokemon that sit in the back line and basic attack very quickly and rain in a whole bunch of damage on your opponent. Next up we have our mages, and unlike their ADC counterparts, mages focus more on casting their abilities than basic attacking. They almost exclusively play every team fight around their cooldowns and their ability to cast their moves, because that's where all of their damage comes from. While they are very powerful, they are very not mobile. So they usually need a defender to kind of watch out for them. Next, we have our healers, and as the name suggests, these are the Pokemon that help you stay alive. They usually have some type of ability to help any Pokemon around them regain health. Now we're moving on to my personal favorite sub-role, and that is the Harasser. These are Pokemon that are usually very mobile and very in your face, making it very uncomfortable for you to try and take farm because they can steal it right out from under you. They're always threatening to backcap because they can get to the goal, score, and get out incredibly quickly. They just make the enemy second guess everything that they're doing. Moving right along, we have our Brawlers. These are the Pokemon that can jump in the middle of a fight and be a real problem for the enemy. They're also the Pokemon that you should probably avoid going toe-to-toe with unless you have your team there for backup. Next up, we have our Divers and Flankers. These are some of the most important Pokemon in a team fight because it is their job to get into the enemy backline and KO their damage dealers. These Pokemon excel at ambushing their enemy and can do a huge chunk of burst damage in one move or combo. After that, we have our Disruptors, and once again, as the name suggests, it's their job to get in the way and cause a whole bunch of havoc for the enemy. These characters are usually chock full of stuns and other crowd control to prevent the enemies from getting to your damage dealers. Up next, we have the Sustain Monsters. I refer to them this way because they are impossible to KO. Their health pools are normally incredibly large, and they usually have some form or way to keep their health pool regenerating over and over again. And last but not least, we have the Outliers. Now, I refer to them this way because, well, they don't really fit into any particular group that we have listed. Uh, Charizard's not really a brawler. It's not really a caster. I mean, you can mix and match its moves. It truly is just an all-arounder. It kind of does a little bit of everything. And Hoopa is a Swiss Army knife of useful moves. Just the ability to teleport your team all over the map, uh, and having a Unite move that can bring everybody to one location, truly is in a class all its own. Now, you'll probably notice that I am missing one Pokemon, and that is Zacian. And to be honest, at the time of this recording, Zacian is still incredibly overpowered, so we really don't know what role it's actually supposed to fill. I think it's supposed to be a brawler, but as of right now, I can literally do anything and everything is not a sub role. So we're just gonna kind of wait it out and see where it falls after the impending nerfs. Please nerf it. Now, knowing all of these roles and sub roles is great, but you're probably asking, why do I need to know this? And the answer is actually pretty simple. It's team synergy. Understanding what your allies are picking and how to pick a Pokemon that complements that and helps build a well-rounded team is actually pretty imperative to the game. Like, if you see your ally pick a mage, picking a disruptor tank would actually help complement that, keeping the enemies away from your mage so that they can continue to do damage. Also, if you see somebody pick a sustain monster or a diver with a lot of HP, they pair very well with healers. I promise that if you look to synergize your team more often, it will help you win more matches and help you climb the ranked ladder a lot faster. Well, that's all I got for you for this episode of Beginner to Master. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that I can continue to make these videos for you. It does help me more than you realize, and I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Later.